Hey everyone, Charting Man Dan from ChartGuys.com. You know, behind every single video that we put out every single day, there's a wonderful community of traders that we want to invite you to be a part of. Try the free 7-day trial and gain access to our live market broadcasts every morning and afternoon, interact with hundreds of like-minded traders, or take part in one of our dedicated chat rooms, each led by an analyst that's there to answer your questions in real time. Our trial is risk-free with absolutely no commitment or credit card required to experience the TCG community. For those looking for a head start in technical analysis, check out our entries and exits course in the link below in the description. Get up to speed with the fundamentals of TCG technical analysis and experience over 5 hours of great community-driven trading education. Hey everyone, checking in on the Canadian MJ space. And just a point before we get into these individual charts, if you are not in a position and you are looking for a position, try not to let the fact that things seem cheap entice you to buy, because valuation right now doesn't mean a whole lot, in my opinion. We're just seeing a clear downtrend, a lack of news. Shorts know this. The shorts are winning in a big way. They're making a lot of money the past 6 months, and we're just seeing lower highs and lower lows. So personally, I am scouting a long-term position. The closer we get to 2018, the more I will be scouting for that position. But I'm going to wait. I'm not going to try and catch the bottom. I'm going to wait until an uptrend is established, until we start to see some higher lows and higher highs, and until we have that bull momentum at our back. I want to be profitable from the moment I enter my trade and just ride it back to the upside as that trend reverses. So I'm going to be patient, and what that's going to allow as well is I'm going to have that bottom to be going off of, and I will have my stop loss below that level. So if we get a higher low and a higher high, and I make my entry on a longer term time frame, looking more likely at the weekly chart than the daily, then I will have a clear level where, okay, if this level breaks, we're seeing continuation and lower lows. I need to be out if I am a bull. If you are already in a bullish position, it's been a pretty rough summer, but you've got your conviction and things will likely be all right in the next couple of years. It's following the pattern of USMJ. USMJ is absolutely dead in the summer. It has been that way for 6-7 years. It's obviously the stock market sell and may go away is a common phrase, but I've noticed it more so in MJ than in the overall stock market as a whole. So I do believe that we're going to see the same kind of seasonality with US and Canadian MJ, where fall and winter really has some action, and then the summer is just really quiet with the bears all over it. So here on weed, we have not seen 2 green days in a row since back here in mid-April. That's 6 weeks in a row without 2 green days. That's pretty astounding, and I take that back. We did have 2 green days here, very weak, so certainly nothing to write home about. But pretty much, it's a very clear trend for the bears, and if you go bearish after 1 day of green, you make money. That's the trend right now, and the bears are taking advantage of that. So we haven't been able to get over this exponential resistance in months. That shows a ton of weakness. That's been 6 weeks rejecting the price, and here we are right now. We're down at our low, testing our support, and that low was down at 737, and we did break that down to 730. We have seen plenty of bullish reversal candlesticks with absolutely no confirmation. If we're not confirming any kind of strength, then obviously we know the bears continue to have momentum. So step number 1 for these bulls, get over the exponential resistance. Step number 2, get over the middle Bollinger Band, and the weekly time frame has just been all downtrend since February. We are losing the 50-week moving average support. The next support I'm looking at on the weekly here, I'm looking at a couple of levels. The first is going to be the low of this week back at 706, and then I'm looking down at 554. And a lot of people are saying, you know, oh, it's so cheap right now, I'm thinking of getting in. Well, why can't we go down another dollar? What's saying, you know, that can't happen? There's absolutely nothing saying that. And as long as we have more bears than bulls, as long as the supply of shares is more than the demand, we're going to continue going down. So I'm very, very patient. I'm licking my lips here, getting ready for 2018 and stocking an entry, but I'm not going to jump in until the bulls prove to me that they have regained control. So weed, after 730, we're looking at 706. In terms of resistance, I've got 769 and 815, pretty much the high of any green day attempt where the bulls attempted to take back over. That's going to be a major resistance level to be keeping an eye on the way back up. APH, also very weak. Same thing with the exponential resistance for the past 3-4 weeks. And we had our low. We're hitting lower lows here. Not sure why my cursor's not picking up, but we've got our low that was down at 528, and we have our lower low now down at 517. Resistance is going to be 553 and 570, and the weekly time frame pulling back. We have more support here. Remember, APH was our lead bull on the weekly time frame. Even when WEED was the lead market cap, we still had APH with a stronger chart. So we've got 502 support, 483, and then down to 406. So right now where APH is at, we're at a price where we were back in February of 2017. Where WEED is at, we were at this price back in November. So if we were in the same point here, WEED, if it had the same strength as APH, would be up in the $9 range. That's a very significant difference where APH is holding on a lot stronger overall. So I will be looking to APH more so than some of these other individual names because that weekly chart is one of the strongest. And I'm also going to be looking at the ETF here, HMMJ. I will probably take a position in APH and HMMJ, although a lot can change in the next couple of months, and I'll keep everybody posted on that. But ACB dumping here on a lot of bear volume. This is one of the weakest charts we saw this past week. We're getting oversold. There's going to be a decent short-term bounce. Keep in mind, if you are trying to play these bounces, number one, you're swimming upstream. You're playing against the trend. These bounces are very short-term. You need to be in and out very quickly. So we're down hitting 3-month lows here on ACB, and we have a key support that did just break, not by a lot, but it did break, and that level is down here at 221 and 225, and we dipped down to 217. So we hit the lowest price that we've seen since back in 2016. That is significant, and we are seeing a lot of bear momentum. We had inside bars, multiple inside bars on the weekly time frame with volume deteriorating, and then an all-out bear dump after that. So the next support we're looking at after 217 is down at 203, 2 psychological, 196, and in terms of resistances, lots of resistances. I would be looking at the hourly time frame and looking at the lower highs. Every time we set a lower high on the hourly, that is a resistance point that I would be looking at for ACB bulls to try to break over. EMC is the opposite of a blue sky breakout. It's a black dirt breakdown where we've got no support. We are hitting all-time lows and just absolutely dumping. We went from 230 down to in the 160s. That's a huge drop in just a few days, and that is the bears taking full advantage of the lack of support. 163 is our support along with 177. Lower Bollinger Band resistance. This is the weakest name that I cover here in these charts because of the lack of support. The weekly chart is all bears, lower highs and lower lows. There's going to be a nice bounce eventually, but going to wait for the bulls to have some momentum before trying to get into this name, which is now 50% of what it was back after that IPO. EMH is a nice pattern to be watching here for a potential trade opportunity. We have our equilibrium pattern, our low, high of the bounce, higher low, lower high, higher low. We're very, very tight. The range that I would be watching right now to be playing off of is going to be 115 support and 127 resistance. Break 115, the bears have control. Break 127, we break the lower high pattern, and we look for the bulls to try and turn things around. Keeping in mind, just like the sector, we have not seen 2 green days in a row in a very long time. We have not seen 2 strong green days in a row since early April. So EMH has to prove that the bulls are back in control here, and we've got a little trend line here that we don't even have to draw. The 50-day resistance is rejecting the price multiple times. The 200-day support is holding the price multiple times. Those levels are converging and getting tighter, and the weekly time frame unable to confirm the bullish reversal candlestick from last week. This is another chart that, like APH, favors the bulls because we still have higher lows and higher highs. We had this low down here that was right above $1, and we are still forming a higher low compared to that level. EMH is actually even stronger than APH on the weekly time frame just because we haven't broken those higher lows yet. HMMJ, new all-time lows, obviously very weak. So no sign of the bulls here on the ETF as well. And we're looking down at support of $9.10, $9 psychological, and in terms of resistance, $9.35 and $9.88, the high of the last bounce attempt. No sign of the bulls, patiently waiting for a bullish entry as we are in black dirt breakdown here as well with absolutely no supports to be watching, and it's going to be a nice entry opportunity. Going to be patient here, looking at time frame as we head into 2018, and I do believe that this is going to be a really sweet investment opportunity. I don't usually go long. I'm a day trader. I love being cash, but I am going to be taking some cryptocurrency profits, and I'm going to be putting them into Canadian MJ with a 1 to 3 year time horizon, and I think it's going to be a very, very, very easy 25 to 50% move. So I'm going to be patiently waiting for it. I will certainly highlight it when I start to see it develop. I appreciate you watching and hope you have a great rest of your weekend.